to your team, the Steelers. So longtime Steelers defensive captain Cam Heyward amid a hold-in strongly suggested Monday he would be willing to miss regular season games as he seeks to renegotiate a contract extension signed in 2024. Take a listen.
It's hard for me to, have after the year I've had to really justify playing at the number I'm playing at. I understand I signed a contract last year, but to be completely honest with you, when I signed that, I told them, when I have an all-pro year, expect me to come back. And you can look at the contract and see what it was, but I think everybody kind of giggled a little bit, but in my head, I used it as motivation to go out there and prove it.
All right, Lewis, he certainly delivered. Is Heyward justified for the hold-in?
Look, you know me, I'm always going to be someone who believes that players should fight for what they feel their fair value is. Okay, and I know Doggy and I have gone back and forth about this, about honoring a contract, not honoring a contract. This is a contract that was just signed a year ago, so people are probably, by and large, going to say, well, look, Cam, maybe you shouldn't have signed the deal that you signed last year if you really thought that you were going to outperform it and you were going to have to come back to the table again, because you know what? This is what is working against him, Molly. He's 36 years old. And I talk about all the time about contracts supposed to really represent projected future performance. If you're the front office right now in Pittsburgh, you right now are really out there in rare air as far as trying to project future performance for Cam Heyward. As great as he has been, and as disruptive as he was last year, you're sitting there going, well, how do we value this now going forward? How do we mitigate the risk to us as far as maybe his performance dropping off, and have that reflected, or rather trying to be fair with him as far as how he played last year? And what does that fair value ultimately come out to be in terms of dollars and cents? It's going to be hard to get over that $14.5, $15 million per year range in my mind. And I'm sure he's thinking, look, I deserve somewhere in 18, 19 million per year. That's what I deserve to be being paid right now. I think this one right here, this is a tough one for me. As much as I love this guy, and I've played with his father, Ironhead Heyward at Pitt, so he knows I love this young man. I knew him when he was a kid. This is going to be a tough one. And I think Pittsburgh's going to struggle with this one. I'm interested to see how this one plays out.
I'm with you know me. You signed a contract last year. I mean, come on. Don't sign the contract then. Sign a one-year contract and then play it. And if you play great, you can sign another one. Steven, you can't be changing these contracts every 5 seconds because you think you outperformed your contract. There is a salary cap.
The teams can.
They gave Watt all that money. I mean, they gave Rodgers plenty plenty of money. You gotta figure it out some way. And this is a good organization, Pittsburgh. They won championships. It's good front office. You know that better than anybody. It's a class. This is not the Frank Bengals. This is not Jerry Jones. This is Jerry Jones. This is a team and organization that's won 1 million Super Bowls, that's had dozen fire coaches. They do the right thing. He signed the contract, Steve, last year, 10 months ago. I mean, come on, he had a great year, and now we're going to rip him up and give him another one? That doesn't work that way in the real world. No way. So I'm with Lewis. No, deal with it.
The NFL is not the real world. Contrary to what Doggy would have America and the world believe, the NFL is not the real world. The NFL could come to you to restructure your deal, to take a pay cut. They can flat out cut you after signing you. This is what they do in the National Football League. If this were baseball or basketball, it would be different. It is not. Now, let's get to the facts here in terms of Heyward. All right? 1 year with 1 year left on this contract, right? If you remember the time when the Steelers typically like to negotiate extensions, because if you got just 1 year, that's when they typically like to come to you to renegotiate the deal. You know this, Lewis. You know this very, very well, Doggy. Yet in 2023, Cam Heyward made $15.85 million in cash, but he counted $22.3 million against the cap, according to my notes from over the cap, right? The team approached him and asked him to take a pay cut. That's what they did, Doggy. The same thing that you just said he can't do, they did. Okay, so now we fast forward, and what does he do? He had limited leverage because he had an injury-marred 2023 season. So what does he do? Okay, he said, all right, I'll do this, but understand that if I perform to the level that I know I'm capable of performing, I'm going to come back. That's the understanding that they had. The brother's been a Pro Bowler 7 of the last 8 years. He's been a 4-time All-Pro NFL defensive lineman and interior lineman. He had 8 sacks last year, okay? The brother performed.